BSN. Finish first. Brandon Curry Unleashed is brought to you by Nitrix. Maximize your potential. Today on Brandon Curry Unleashed.
When it comes to shoulder training, I like to add a big compound pressure movement normally at the beginning.
I use a lot of different variations to train shoulders. Some phases of my training, I'm training shoulders with explosive movements.
One of the biggest mistakes that I think people make with shoulders, they don't understand there's 3 heads to your shoulders.
When it comes to shoulder training, I like to add a big compound pressure movement normally at the beginning. Only exception to that if you have weak rear delts. If you have weak rear delt development, a lot of times I advise you to train those first to get them pre-exhausted and then continue with your pressure movements along with your flies. When it comes to shoulders, just like arms, I believe you don't need as much rest in between sets. You really want to have a high blood volume, and you really want to produce a lot of lactic acid burning in them. Training them heavy is good, but a lot of times your accumulated volume in a short period of time is even better. So just pump those things to an oblivion. Really, when you work your shoulders the most, you ever paint a ceiling. It's kind of like constant tension on the muscle. It really fatigues you. So you want to do things that are high fatigue, but basically high enough intensity to break down the muscle also.
Nitrix. Get yours now at bodybuilding.com.
I use a lot of different variations to train shoulders. Some phases of my training, I'm training shoulders with explosive movements and for strength, and in other phases I'm training for more volume or endurance work. Basically, the majority of the people have too much development in the front delt, so it's not really an issue. Any pressing movement, bench press, any general work, chest work, was generally to target the front delt. A lot of times when it comes to shoulder training, especially the rear delt, it's a harder muscle to target, so you definitely have to lower your intensities and really focus on what you're doing. So I suggest you definitely focus on the rear delt for balance and use most of your volume in your training for what's weak. And when it comes to the lateral heads, they generally respond to controlled, high reps or focus reps, or using a tempo which allows your set to last over a certain period of time. So I incorporate pretty much every phase of training with my shoulders. I go through the pressing movements and the focus training, and then I try to add volume and decrease my rest time by doing some supersets.
One of the biggest mistakes that I think people make with shoulders, they don't understand there's 3 heads to your shoulders. You have to train your fronts, you have to train your sides, and you have to train your rear. Well, that's why you see some people that have, they're dominant in their front delts, because some people neglect the sides and the rear. One exercise or 2 exercises I like doing that really get my shoulders just pumped is one, I love doing presses, either barbell or dumbbell. I love switching it up. and front raises, you know, and that really gives a good pump to your shoulders. It really blows them out.